For this trip, I took a flight to Taiwan. So here's the airplane food. I got to the airport at around 8 p.m. at night, and then I took the airport express train. For the airport train, they give you a token, and then when I got to the train station, I bought an MRT card, which is how you travel around Taiwan. And when I got to my hostel, they gave me some free meal vouchers. So there were only 2 places open. The first one was this potato place. This was probably not Taiwanese food. It was like a tempura mashed potato thing. It was all right. And the other place open on the free meal voucher list was this Taiwanese local stall, and I got this braised pork with rice, and even though it was very little pork, it was actually pretty good. And I was staying in Shimun, so they had this 24/7 Don Don Donkey, and I went shopping for skincare late at night since I was super jet lagged. And then I got the skincare and this mochi, and then I went to Family Mart to see their onigiri selection. And also they had a lot of like chicken and eggs and other protein selections for a quick bite. So this is what I was eating at like 3 a.m. because I could not sleep. And then I tried to go to bed that night, but I actually could not sleep because it was a 12-hour time difference. But the next day I woke up early to go to the gym, so I got this onigiri for a quick breakfast. These are so good. It's my favorite part about Asia. And Taipei has these government-owned sports centers where it's like a really cheap gym. So I went to this gym for about $3, but all the equipment was outdated and it was only senior citizens around me. And also they only had this toilet as an option, so that is what I had to use. And then afterwards, I went to this famous rice flour noodles place, and it was super busy when I got there. I got there around 8 a.m. and it was already really crowded, and there's no seating area, so people were just eating around the shop outside. And the noodles were okay. I feel like they were really soggy and not that great, but the flavor is really good still. And then I went to this boba tea shop where they make their own tapioca pearls, and I actually talked to my Taiwanese friend, and he says that locals do not go to this boba place, but it's a touristy thing, so I went there. And at the Shimun location, they only have one option, which is the classic boba milk, and this was literally just milk with sugar. I didn't think it was that good. And then I took a 1.5 hour bus to Jiufeng, and this is the old street area that I was walking around. Here is the famous Ame tea house where everyone takes pictures, and I walked in and got a tea set, and this was way overpriced. I didn't even look at the price before I got it, but I still liked it for the experience. And walking along the stalls, I saw a lot of these red yeast meatballs, so I got one to try. And here they just topped it with some cilantro. This was like some pork wrapped in some glutinous rice flour. It was all right. And afterwards, I kept walking to see what else they had. And then I found these sea snails. I like the little snails, so I wanted to try these. These are a little bit bigger. As you can see, she's like just picking them out and clipping them right there. This was actually so nasty. It was super slimy, and also when I was biting into some pieces, it was super crunchy, and then I just realized that I was probably eating straight sand. I'm really glad I tried it though, but I just could not finish it because I think I was just eating straight sand at some point. And then I kept walking to see the other street food, and I saw their peanut ice cream rolls, but I didn't get one because I just couldn't finish it. I was so full at this point, but if I come back next time, I would love to try it. And then I had to try their taro balls because that's what everyone talks about here. So here they just have taro balls and they top it with beans. This was actually really good. I really enjoyed this, but it was just too much. And I feel like since they put so much ice in it, it was just super watered down. And then I returned to Taipei to take a nap and then go to the first night market. So at this night market, it was actually very cramped. The stalls were very close together. But on the outside of the food stalls, they also had restaurants. So one of the restaurants I went to was on the side, and it was this oyster place where they make their oyster omelets. So I was really excited to get that. And this was actually really good. I really enjoyed this. They even sold just little oysters by themselves, but I was so full that I skipped out on that. But this was really good. Highly recommend. And I love seafood, so I went back to the food stalls in the night market and I got this grilled squid. And I thought they were going to give me the squid on the stick to eat, but they actually just cooked it on the stick and then chopped it up and put it in a little container for me to eat with a toothpick. And of course this was good because it was simple and just grilled squid, so I really liked it. And then I had to try stinky tofu, and at first the smell was really strong and stinky at first, but the more I smelled it, And when I actually got the order, it really didn't smell that bad to me. Maybe I'm just used to the scent, but I thought it smelled fine, and I also thought it tasted really good. This was my favorite thing I ate that day, along with the oyster omelet, and the cabbage salad on top was really good, and the sauce was really good, so I really enjoyed this. And then I went to Watson's, which is the drugstore beauty store there, and honestly, this is better than Don Don Donkey. The beauty selection is way bigger, and also the deals and the prices are better. The next day, I wanted to use some more of the free meal vouchers I had. So the first place I went to was this local Taiwanese breakfast place, and I got some soy milk and dumplings with an omelet on the side. And then I also got a free bakery item. This was like a salted egg yolk and taro croissant. And then I had to change gyms because I wanted better equipment and a better crowd, and it was also about the same price. And then for lunch, I went to Din Tai Fung. They were so high tech there. They even had this little robot lead me to my seat. They even had a little pamphlet on how to eat xiaolong bao and how to use the sauces. So of course, the first thing I got was the xiaolong bao, which obviously that was good. And then I also got a crispy shrimp pancake, which was also very good. And then for dessert, I had a salted egg yolk custard bun, which these were so good as well. Like, look at that filling inside. This was so good. It's my favorite dessert. And then I took the bus to Addiction Aquatic Development, which is more of a higher end seafood place. So as you can see, they have all of these seafood tanks around, but I was mostly here for the sashimi. And here are the ready to eat sashimi options that you can order by the piece. And I got mostly salmon, and then I also wanted to get one of every fish they had available, but I didn't realize that he had to cut and weigh every single piece, so I felt kind of bad. This was the fish. It was very fresh, and it was a little expensive, but I think it was very worth it. For breakfast the next day, I went to this famous soy milk place, and I got there at 6 a.m., and there was already a long line at 6 a.m., but anyways, I got their salted soy milk and sesame bread, and this was so good. The sesame bread was amazing. I wish I could have that again. And their salty soy milk is really just silken tofu. And then I went to the gym, and afterwards I wanted to get a guo bao at this famous place. So I ended up going to this market, and I got this little guo bao. So this was very good. It was very small, but the bread was really good. And also the inside, it had like some vegetables and other stuff, which I thought was delicious. And throughout this market, they also had a lot of massage and spa places, but I didn't go to any of them because I didn't have that much time here, but they were actually pretty cheap. And then I took a bus to this local braised pork rice place. So this was some ground pork with rice and then braised pork, and the ground pork with rice was fine. I should have got braised pork with rice because it was really good. And then afterwards, I took a nap and took about an hour bus to Keelung. And this was like a very bustling city. I thought it was going to be more of like a calmer port city, but it was actually very crowded. And I went to their famous night market here, which this was the best night market I went to. Granted, I only went to like 3 in total, but here they're famous for their crab thick soup and glutinous rice. So here is the soup. I didn't see too much crab in it, but the rice was really good. And the soup was good. I just added some vinegar to it. And this place seemed to have a lot of seafood thick soups. There were so many stalls with various thick soups. I feel like this is an underrated market. I thought it was definitely worth the trip. You can see the decor is really nice, and it's known for its variety of seafood. And also there were just a ton of options in general. The next thing that I got were these clams. So she just cooked them up and they opened right up, and these were pretty good. They're just clams. And then the next thing I got was this little potato seafood thing. I actually don't know what this was, but it was good. It was like a mix of various seafoods. And then I had to get a giant oyster. There was only one option available there, and they covered it in a lot of stuff. And also, I realized this was really overpriced, but I just had to get a raw giant oyster. And then I got a tofu dessert. I think this is tofu pho, or at least similar to it. But here they top it off with like boba and taro balls. So this was so good. I really love this dessert. And then after that, I was way too full to even walk around the city because it was also pretty late. But as you can see, there's like a ton of stores. It's super crowded, and it was a very nice hidden gem to me. The next day for breakfast, I took the train to get this onion pancake. And this was one of the favorite street foods that I had there. This was so good. Inside, I got it stuffed with eggs, ham, and cheese, and it was very delicious. Afterwards, I went to the gym, and for my next meal, I got some beef noodles. So this is another famous place that I found. And there seemed to be a lot of locals in there, but this was pretty good. There was, I think this was beef tripe on top. And the noodles were also very good and chewy. And then I went to another beauty store. So Poya is the other beauty drugstore they have here, and I just got some more items. And then afterwards I went to Don Don Donkey, and I didn't realize they had so many sushi options. They even have these like little nigiri options, and then they have a ton of sashimi options as well. So I was super excited about that. I didn't realize how much I spent on it, but honestly, I got some premium items like scallops, salmon sashimi, and sea urchin. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't that fresh, but it was still sashimi, so I didn't care. And then since it was raining, I went to an indoor night market, and I met with my friend Sunny, who was my Taiwanese exchange student 4 years ago. I wasn't that hungry, so I just got more of this tofu dessert because I really liked it. And then Sunny got some shaved ice. But we just caught up after 4 years of not seeing each other, and that's my Taiwan vlog.